This is our thing. This is not their thing. This is not for them. This is for you and for me. We're going to drink. We're going to talk football. Here we go, because it's week
6.
Thank you, Stuart.
Didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either.
We're having a nice conversation up till that moment.
Eagles at Giants. Go, Stu.
The Giants out for the Eagles. I don't know how impactful that is. I mean, he really hasn't been everything that he was, thought to be when he came over from Miami. He certainly carried a bigger workload in Miami and was more of a part of the offense. So I don't know if that kills them. Tough loss to your boys, and the Giants were scuttled by the Carolina Panthers. Division is up for grabs. Saquon can run against his Eagles team, but can the Giants keep up with the speed of the Eagles? I don't think so. Eagles.
Same thing, exactly. I was talking about Jay Ajayi, and, they don't have big wood in their running game. They got small wood, and it's hurting them. They also don't have the pass rush that they had at the end of last season. They're in the middle of the pack in sacks and QB pressures. Can't really figure that out, except maybe it's a little bit of the Super Bowl hangover. I'm with you, though. The Giants are finding a way to lose on record-setting field goals, and you've got, the Giants, finito. We're not going to do the drama anymore. I'm not going to talk about the drama. No drama. We're finito. And I don't blame Pat Shurmur. Odell Beckham Jr. is not a guy that I would want as a teammate. It's just that simple.
He's even questioning Eli.
I know, and quite frankly...
You have 2 Super Bowls.
Yes. And yes, Eli, we were questioning Eli, but we're allowed to. We're not in the locker room with him. I'm taking the Eagles. Bucks at Falcons. You want to go? You want me to?
Clearly on paper, the Falcons are better. But the Bucks are up and down, and it's based on Fitzpatrick. Is Fitz starting? Did they change quarterbacks? I thought I read that they were going with Winston.
I had Winston when I was looking at this.
Okay, so I couldn't find anything, and I was in a hurry, and I was very busy at work today. But the Falcons just can't seem to put a game together this season. They're losing ground to the Saints. They're losing grounds to the Panthers, and a loss here is devastating for them. They'd be 1-5 and hard-pressed to come back from that. I look actually for them to win here, but I think it's a close game.
It's going to be a very high-scoring game because these are the 2 worst teams for allowing points. The Bucks are allowing 34.8. The Falcons are allowing 32. Blah, blah, blah. The Falcons are allowing 32.6. I actually disagree with you. I think the Bucks are just going to outgun them because I think the injuries in the Falcons' defense, which was already suspect, is finishing them off for this season. I think a good team that starts out 1-4, a team that thinks of themselves as a good team and starts out 1-4, has a tendency to give up quicker than a bad team that's happy to be like, hey, we got to win.
1-4, holy crap.
And
Might be over.
Dan Quinn is starting to wonder if his legacy is going to be, I gave up the worst Super Bowl comeback ever. I came this close to winning a Super Bowl, and the hangover from that just took my very talented team straight down.
Yeah.
And that appears to be their path. So I'm taking the Bucks.
All right. Panthers, Redskins.
Okay, I'll go on this. Josh Norman and Ryan Kerrigan are not what they once were, and the Redskins were very, very lackluster. Alex Smith threw some really horrific passes yesterday.
Yeah.
For a guy who's gotten by on accuracy and field vision and not the big arm, when the accuracy goes, what you got left with Alex Smith? Some good wheels, I guess. Cam Newton is knocking people on their asses. He's still running tough. He's holding up this season. You got to wonder when the years of massive hits take their toll. But he's not built like an RG3 or a Michael Vick. He's built like a freaking tight end. So I'm taking the Panthers to win this one.
Yeah, I'm taking them too here. Look, how is the Washington defense ranked number 1 on the NFL.com after the debacle last night? I mean, the Saints could do no wrong. They were laughing by the time that little Drew Brees threw his record-setting pass. The Panthers are looking for some consistency here to move them ahead in this contest. Panthers have won the last 3 matchups dating back to 2012. So this is one of those, they don't face each other often. Not even sure if Cam was with them in 2012. I'm not that much of an analytical guy, but I'm sticking with the Panthers for this weekend, certainly.
Hawks at the Raiders, and 2 lifeless franchises with old coaches. The one's a new old coach that really don't appear to be connecting with their players any longer. I like Seattle in this basically based on the fact that they gave the Rams a hell of a go, and the Rams are a hell of a team. The AFC West and the NFC West, the bottom of them are the bottom. Ooh, excuse me, of football. It's ugly as that burp I just let out.
Jambalaya.
It was a jambalaya burp. I scarfed out some of my wife's lovely jambalaya. So I'm taking Seattle basically based on like a good go, a good attempt last week.
Yeah, neither team can run the ball here. Carr's been pretty good without a lot of support around him. I mean, his numbers are pretty damn good, all things aside. This is a coin toss for me, and I'm just going to take the home team. Me and the Seahawks on the road just don't go together.
Fair enough. Colts at Jets, and for the Jets, it's been feast or famine. What can you say? You got a rookie quarterback. Sometimes it's paying off. Sometimes it isn't. Colts. If you look at the score, it seemed like it was a close game against the Patriots. If you looked at the game, it really wasn't. I like the Jets. Their defense woke up. They played a great game last week against the Broncos. I like the Jets to win this one and keep the hope alive that this is a actual playoff team.
I think you're going to see the same thing that they did last week against Denver. A lot of Bilal Powell, a lot of Crowell.
Yeah, oh my God!
Would they have 400 yards combined, something like that? It was staggering numbers, 300 maybe. And I'm only basing that on the Jets' performance last week because if you base it a couple weeks ago, there's nothing that says that they win this game here. One of these up and down teams, but I just don't think Indianapolis has the horses to keep up with this team. And I think the Jets' defense is pretty solid.
The Colts don't have the horses. You get it?
See, I didn't even do that.
Cards at Vikes. And yeah, I was starting to freak out at the end of the Viking game where I was like, we're going to blow this. Well, I started to freak out at the beginning of the Viking game where we blew it with the kicking again. My goodness.
What's going
Bring back
on?
Kai Forbath. Bring back freaking Daniel Carlson. It's just bad. Like we can't keep blowing these things on kicks. And
A lot of games this year blown on kicks. It's
but let me tell you, I have watched more Kirk Cousins this year than I ever have before because I kind of thought Washington was a boring team with him. And he is deadly accurate. His accuracy has been really remarkable. If we could get Dalvin Cook, who has missed 2/3 of the games he's been available, if we could get him healthy and on the field, we could turn this season in the right direction. And quite frankly, I can't assume that we're going to lose to both the Bills and the Cardinals at home in one season. Not when each has been vying for the worst. When we're playing them, they're literally the worst teams in football. So I'm taking the Vikes.
And I think you get a break there. The Cardinals got off the schneid with a win.
True.
You beat an Eagles team that really isn't the Eagles of last year by any stretch of the imagination.
Also true.
But the Cardinals aren't the Eagles of this year.
Also confusing.
I wish Cook would play, and I hope he does because I picked him up in fantasy early on, and he's been an absolute missing in action. But I'm feeling Thielen here. I like the Vikings.
I think you should. I'm digging Diggs. I'm Kylan Rudolph. I can't. All right, let's stop.
Cooking with gas.
Steelers at the Bengals, and this has become actually a very interesting game.
Yep.
The Bengals. What to make of the Bengals? I mean, did it take Marvin Lewis 15 years to become a decent coach? Is it talent that they have now and a little more balance in their game than before? I don't know what to make of them, but I like them in this game. I think everybody thinks the Steelers turned it around last week, and I don't believe that that's true. Though I will say, interesting thing that I'm going to watch all season is the Watt brother race because they're right now tied with 6 sacks.
Really?
I believe they're tied for the lead. TJ seems to get them all in one clump. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas JJ seems to get them slightly, a little more consistently. So watching the Watt brothers race for the sack title is going to be interesting.
And who do our viewers think will win that contest at the end of the year? Comments below.
But I like the Bengals in this one, Stu.
No, I'm going Pittsburgh. I think they finally got on a roll here. The Bengals were basically out of the game in Miami. They were down 17-0 after 3 quarters.
Well, they weren't out of it.
Well, they were out of it because after that, Miami lost its left tackle, its heart, its feet.
It's left nut.
And the Steelers found their rhythm against Atlanta. Not a bad team, but they poured it on Atlanta. The Bengals defense does not impress me, especially because they couldn't do anything against Miami till the end when bumblefuck Tannehill started deciding to throw the game. But their offense was putrid. I mean, Miami held them to nothing for 3 quarters. I don't get where you'd be on the Bengals here. I'm taking the Steelers.
Kiko Alonso is number 2 in tackles so far this year.
Well, sure, because he's always missing the first one up the field, so he's got to chase him down.
Okay, there we go. Chargers at Browns, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm becoming a Baker Mayfield guy, and it seems to me that Phillip Rivers is going to be the Dan Fouts of this era. Great stats, well thought of. Didn't really win a whole hell of a lot of playoff games, so I'm going.
You've been Schottenheimered.
I'm going with Baker.
I am too. Browns. This is one of the best stories of 2018, no doubt about it. Gritty. They have a never-say-die mentality. They've been in every game, even the ones they've lost or tied. Well, obviously they were in it.
They were in the tied one.
Yeah,
should have won.
Captain Obvious presents. Anyway, I expect more of the same. And how old is Gates? Didn't he play with Jim Thorpe back in the day? I mean, the guy is still on the field. Kudos to you, man. I couldn't get on a field when I was 18, let alone at your age of Rumpelstiltskin.
I can't go to a late movie. We were just talking about that. Stewart still goes to concerts on Sunday nights. I'm all tucked into Betty by 8 o'clock. Bills at the Texans. And if you've been watching this, you know I'm on the Texans bandwagon. Yeah. I'm riding that Clowney. I'm with that Watt. I'm all about DeAndre Hopkins. And I think Hopkins is going to go for 2 touchdowns. I think Deshaun Watson is going to get him, 10 targets for 120 yards. I think the Titans pull away. I'm amazed at what the Bills have been able to do so far this year, including that win over the Vikings. But I think the Texans are at home are a clear, easy pick here, and I think they win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I'm taking the Texans here. The Bills have won the most unlikely games that you expect them to lose, and they win them. And then they go into a game where you think, they should win this, and they don't. The Titans-Bills game, again, I mean, this has been a season of kickers, and craziness has gone on with that. I don't think this is one of those unlikely games for the Bills. Teams are starting to get on track, especially the Texans. They're starting to play more consistently, and while Buffalo may surprise, I think the Texans win this. The Bills have the 31st offense in the league, and that's what sealed it for me.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a guy that's hanging around and wondering why he's still there. LaShawn McCoy's got to be
yeah, trade me.
Well, no, there is actually talk of the Eagles thing.
Yeah, go figure.
So you got Chicago at Miami. Stu, sorry, you were mid-sip there.
This is the season for the Finns. If they lose this game, pretty much it's clean house time. I mean, the total breakdown against the Bengals was unforgivable in my eyes. I don't care if you lose a left tackle. Everybody loses players in the games, and the good teams rise above it and bring in a guy that can seal the deal. Miami doesn't have that. Tannehill is one Khalil Mack pressure away from retirement. And not that the Bears should scare anyone. I know they're kind of highly ranked, and what are they, 3-1 coming in here? But they don't scare me. Gase has shown to me that he cannot coach in a game, and I don't care about the injuries, but he can't do it. He just doesn't seem to learn on the fly. He's so goddamn stubborn. I don't see the Finns winning another game this season. I certainly don't see him winning this game. I'm taking the Bears defense for the win.
You do realize you're tied for the division lead, right? I mean, you are aware of that.
I've watched them all.
A 2-game losing streak, and Stewart's like, the world just ended.
We've beaten really
global warming has killed off all the mammals on Earth except for me and Steve. Chicago, he's got Khalil Mack, and he is a wrecking machine right now.
I'm pessimistic.
He's not leading the league in sacks, but if you look at his line, it's like forced fumbles, interceptions, recoveries, touchdowns. It's the kind of line that J.J. Watt had a couple of years ago when he was winning MVPs, where, you were right there with the leaders in sacks or leading, but you also had everybody has the 4 sacks, and then there's a bunch of those little dashes that mean they haven't done anything else.
Right.
Mac doesn't have any damn dashes.
Yeah.
He has knocked balls loose, knocked guys out of games, just created havoc, and changed the entire demeanor of the Bears. Until that trade, you didn't think to yourself, oh my God, the Bears could contend. Now I do. So I'm taking the Bears easily in this
Someone that disruptive certainly can make make a defense play better.
Yeah, but you don't think of it as changing the entire locker room, and he really seems to have done that. He's earning that money, let me tell you.
Oh, no doubt.
So, it wasn't like he got the money, and who was that fat defensive lineman that got the big thing in Washington? Albert Hainsworth. He's not Hainsworthing it. Anyway, Rams at Broncos.
It's going to snow.
You go then. Go.
Oh, that's all I had.
Oh, you're the weatherman.
It's snowing.
I don't think that's going to matter. Cooper Kupp is way better than I thought he was. Goff, after a bad rookie season, has become also scary accurate. If you've heard me talk about the Rams, they're every level. They have playmakers, offense and defense. Mm-hmm. They are the most complete team. They're not the most explosive team. That goes to the Chiefs, but they are the most complete team on both sides of the ball. There's no way I'm taking anybody against them in this game. There's no way I'm taking the Broncos.
Agreed. They just seem to have it this year. They're the number 1-0, number 9 defense. Boy, the number 1-0 and a number 9 defense, any team will take that any time of the year. I don't think it's a blowout under any circumstances because I do think the weather changes the game, and it should be a lot of girly. But I think it's a Rams win.
All right. So looking at Ravens-Titans, it gets interesting because neither one of these teams gives up points. Mm-hmm. So you have to go, like, this is an under. This is like, if the under's 15, I might actually bet it. The Ravens give up 15.4 points a game. Titans 17.2. They're number 1 and number 4 in that. This is going to be a low-scoring, who kicks that last field goal type of games. And based on what the Titans did last week, I got to give it to the Ravens. I'm taking them 12-9.
All right.
All field goals.
I'm looking at this. It's their second road game for Baltimore after losing to Cleveland. I mean, you would think that would pump them up, but maybe not. The Titans lost to the last second to Buffalo, and they come home. It's another coin toss game here. This year is so wacky. I'm just taking the home team, taking the Titans.
Not such a wacky game is the Jaguars at the Cowboys. And I got to tell you, the odd couple of Jason Garrett, with his Princeton and his proper and his, his cautiousness versus Jerry Jones and let's go for it. What are we doing? We're punting from the 40? We're punting from the 40? I don't understand why we're punting from the 40. Yeah, that's nuts. Like, in a season where clearly the trend in the NFL is to be way more aggressive, way more people going for too early, way more people going for it on fourth down. There was a scientific paper published a long time ago that said punting is the stupidest thing you could do, and you should go for it on fourth down every down. I don't know if that's true, but the NFL is certainly going towards the, let's go for it. What the hell? Frank Reich.
Online science college?
Remember Frank Reich? I'll do it every time. Like, God bless him. Yeah. And that's the kind of attitude that Jerry Jones wants. He doesn't want, I thought it was a good idea to try and pin them back. Sorry, that marriage is over. I don't know if they have a prenup in Dallas. Like Jason Garrett gets the cat or something.
There's something going on there that he's there that long.
But that's done. Cowboy fans are fed up. They're the home field advantage, it might be a little less than it usually is. I'm taking the Jaguars to storm back and to win this game easily.
I'm only taking the Jaguars because of their defense. Their offense is sputtering. They are a quarterback away.
Oh, Jamal Charles. They picked up Jamal Charles today.
Who did?
The Jaguars.
Isn't he like 95 years old?
He's younger than Antonio Gates.
Holy shit.
Sorry.
Doesn't change it for me. Blake Bortles is terrible. I never liked him. I never will. And Coughlin's got to see, hey, maybe the Giants next season want to get rid of Eli Manning and get that 1 or 2 years out of Eli with that team.
Yeah.
I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I would too.
Because I think
that's
Giants
actually
fans,
fairly brilliant, too.
I think the Giants fans are ready to give up on him. I'm not. I would take Eli in Miami any day of the week, except he'd be dead in 30 minutes. But it's basically Jacksonville's defense versus this Dallas Cowboys team that just doesn't seem to have any real threat going right now.
I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is leading the league in rushing. Do you think he's going to go for 100 yards against the Jags?
No. They're going to stack the line anyway.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So game of the week, and it seems like whenever the Chiefs are in a game, you could just say game of the week. I'm gonna steal Stu's conspiracy theory before he can actually get to it. Yes, the Patriots get a long week. Yes, the Patriots are at home. Yes, the NFL always helps the Patriots out every way they can with the schedule making. We all know you feel that way too. But if the Chiefs can put up 30 on the Jaguars, they're going to put up 40, 45 on the Patriots. Yes, Edelman coming back was a great thing. Brady was scary, scary accurate. I think he had like 12 in a row, and the only one was a drop from Edelman, like a clear, wide open drop from Edelman. Um, the Patriots have rounded into slightly better form, but I don't think they can run with the Chiefs. I don't think they have a Jalen Ramsey to shut down Tyreek Hill. I don't think they have the linebackers that can keep Kelsey under wraps. I'm taking the freaking Chiefs. Remember what the Chiefs did to him not too long ago, too?
Well, I was all boiling, man, when I saw that this was a Patriots home game, and I'm looking up and I'm like, oh, Kansas City was at home last year when they blew them away, so
okay.
That blew out all your
no, but
not
some of that
unfounded
some of that
inferences of maybe conspiracy there, because Denver's home the first 6 weeks of the season and they get 12 home games. But anyway, this is the AFC Championship preview. KC blew up the Patriots last year. Just so many weapons in it, and it's so hard for New England to keep up with them. But they have one of the worst offenses in the NFL, and Brady can exploit it. So this is last team with the ball is going to win the game. I want Kansas City to win this game, but I am taking the New England Patriots because you know why? They always do this to me. They always win.
I'm going to bet you that Kansas City gets out to a 2-touchdown lead on this game and holds it. Like they're
drinks on you.
Kansas
drinks
City.
on me next week.
Actually, I hosted to a couple of drinks. Came in with $2 whole.
I want my $2.
He got his $2. He didn't get the rest. The Cosmo Club, though, he did actually pay. Thank you. Oh, and by the by, we should have said this right from the beginning. Drew Brees, that little Drew Brees, God bless him. I'm not going to lie to you. They showed that Saints guy, like that Saints fan, like crying, and I was like, Jesus, if that had been a Viking, I might have been that guy.
I don't think that would ever be me.
Didn't Drew Brees' kids, weren't they about the same age when they won the freaking Super Bowl? Like, do those kids not age?
Yes.
Like, didn't they trot out a couple of little kids? Did they just...
They live on the island of misfit boys or whatever that Peter Pan thing is.
They bring in a rotating group to play. I mean,
the other three were such disappointments.
He just set the freaking NFL passing record, and he's like, guys, I want you to know that this is a teachable moment. Like, he's a better dad than me. He's a better football player than me. He's
very inspiring.
He's a better man than me. God, I hate him. Anyway.
And I love the little cardboard piece of paper they gave him with laminated. You've just won 2 cookies. That's all you could come up with, NFL?
Does David Baker really have to have white gloves on when he takes that ball? It was just being kicked around by 300-pound men.
Urine and blood on it. Maybe that's why he's got the white gloves.
Yeah, it could be. They would have been those surgical gloves. I would have understood it.
I'll just take the Ebola from you.
Yeah, they gave him like a Girl Scout certificate.
Yeah.
Like,
you done good.
And they got a penalty for excessive celebration. Are you freaking kidding me?
What I loved was then they went for 2 right after that. I'm like, shove it up your ass.
What I loved was he was mic'd, and Armstead was like, "I love you, man," and he was like, "I love you, man," and that's those are the moments where you go, Jesus, football really can be a great thing. Like,
yeah,
that was for all the times we've complained about wife beating and the game's not as good as it was and blah blah blah. That was a moment where, as a football fan, you could just sit back and go, "There's a damn good player who overcame adversity, who was not as gifted athletically as an Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that, or Russell Wilson, and has made the
Culpepper
was cut by a team like the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like,
pick him.
Yeah, and he's still out there, and he's gonna keep going. Like,
I think he added 1,000 yards after breaking the record.
Oh Christ!
He just was unrelentless.
And he did it Derek Jeter style, oh, this is my 3,000th hit. Let me hit a grand slam that wins the freaking World Series. Like, perfect play to do it on. Great story for the NFL. Fun stuff. God bless you, Drew Brees. San Francisco at Green Bay, and it must have been the shoes because Mason Crosby changed his shoes. I think he changed his underwear, jockstrap. He
changed
missed
what?
everything. He had the terrible, horrible, no good, bad day. You know what I mean? But so what? They're playing San Francisco, who lost to the Cardinals. They're at home. They're on national TV. Do you really think the Packers aren't winning this game by 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, really. And ESPN's going, oh,
Yeah.
oh, no one's going to watch this. I hope there's baseball on.
I hope there's a, what was it, the Queen's cover band concert on Sunday
Queen
night?
Extravaganza. If you get to see them, they're awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, well, you go.
No, continue.
I was just going to say, we are the champions. No time for Geo-Nos or half-moon picks, because electric football is the champions.
And we will rock you.
Of the world.
The loss should fire up Green Bay, the loss they just suffered to Detroit. They're going against the Niners team that lost to the Cardinals. You can't beat Arizona. That's like, you're the last pick in the team on the grammar school, rugby field there. Although Kittle's coming on. Kittle's fun to watch. The tight end for San Francisco.
I'll give you that.
Big pass catching tight end. But Rose, Breida, and Morris just don't have enough going for him here. Packers should win this in a laugher. This game's over at 9:15, and I hope my numbers come in.
Speaking of a laugher, we hope you enjoyed this. Hope you had some fun with us. It's electric football.
He's off to see Venom.
I am off to see Venom.
I'm off to spew it.
I'll give you my review next week. Comments, and we love you.
Thank you all for watching. You know who you are. Bye-bye.